Alright, so we're gonna wait for this to come up. We're gonna do a quick stream and then we'll do a second one real quick. This one's just gonna be for the winners of the t-shirt giveaway. So I'm gonna go ahead and announce those. There's also gonna be some people that didn't actually ask for a t-shirt directly on the chat, but they have donated, and I'm also going to make an announcement of what we're going to be doing on the channel. We're going to add a few things to kind of improve the overall quality. We're going to get a different camera that has autofocus, and we're also going to get a HDMI capture card that will do 60 frames, and then hopefully we can update the whole stream to 60 frames. What's up, Duncan? Pick you. Well, Duncan, if you left a message in the chat, you would have been one. Some of my better customers, which Duncan, you're one of them, I'm probably going to send you all some shirts anyway, so let me find the list here. Alright. So, the list. Let me see who's all on here. Alright, so the people that left a message, since there wasn't very many people that did, evidently it gets lost in all the streams, but the people that won are Larry Johnson, CryJ 2000, which is Chuck, Jesper Hansen, UK Rules OK, Cormac Piper, excuse me, Jeff Small. Jeff, you want a t-shirt? Lynn Nash, Mike Leakin, I believe it is, Lecan, Danny Reed, Andrew McKagan, and Bobby Gordon. And I'm also going to give t-shirts out to those who have donated to the channel. So if you donated to the channel also, I'm going to send you a shirt because you all have made it possible, especially Paul Daher, however you say his last name. Sorry, Paul, for butchering your last name there. He's donated an awful lot to this channel, and we're going to use that money to now purchase some new equipment. So let me see if we can show you what we're going to get here. So we are going to be getting a few things. I don't know if they're still in the cart. They probably got emptied. Yeah, they did. Or no, I'm not signed in, so obviously they won't be there. Jeff. Yay! Alright, so let me switch over here. I'm going to have to add a new window. Let's do a display capture. Let's do secondary. Alright, so the items we're going to purchase here are a adapter for the camera. I'm going to be getting an AMScope AF100, which is a 1080p autofocus camera, which does 60 frames per second. And we're also going to pick up a Elgato capture card, which is a single HDMI input, but is more cost effective. Lewis runs one that's a 4 HDMI input, but it's like $800. We don't need that. So we're going to get a 60 frames per second HDMI input capture card, and all the money that's been donated is going towards buying these items. So I greatly appreciate everyone that has donated to the channel and everyone that has supported me. We've grown quite a bit pretty quickly. It's still growing. We've added another, I think, 8 subs in the last few days. If there's anybody you know that enjoys this kind of stuff, I appreciate if you spread the word. Also, our Amazon affiliate links, I really appreciate the people that bought stuff through our links that we have. You don't have to buy anything that I necessarily have linked, but if you click the link, then search for something that you want. It helps us out here. We're adding more things as we go. The data recovery stuff is next. The camera thing was the main thing I wanted to get, since the camera I have right now, it's a good camera. It's an AMScope MU1403. We're going to sell this to one of the viewers on the channel. He's already asked for it, and I told him that he could have it. So I'm going to sell that to him, and hopefully we'll get the new equipment next week sometime. Keep you mobile, you want a t-shirt? Well, we're going to do some more giveaways later on, so definitely check back in. And I'm probably going to end the stream on that one, and then we're going to start a new stream up. We're going to do a few board repairs. I'm going to talk about the NAND reprogrammer. It started working again magically. It has its own mind of its own. And we'll also go over the NAND was reprogrammed and did work. The phone is now back up and working. I'm going to show you that phone. And then we've got a few mail-in items I'm going to run through real quick, see what's easy, what's not. I'm going to work for probably about an hour, and then I'm going to head home. But again, thank you everybody that has subscribed, everybody that comes to chat. I really love the people that come to chat because it makes it not boring as fuck. And everybody that constantly comes to watch and stuff, I really appreciate it. Even the people that give me a thumbs down, I still like you guys. And I will see you all in a minute on the next stream. Later. Alright, looks like the second stream is now up. Why, hello. Alright, so estimated delivery, hopefully that's not fucking correct because I don't want to wait 2 weeks. Let's see, Monday the 24th. Well, I guess we'll be waiting a week. Oh well, some of that stuff may come sooner. But all the new camera equipment, long time no see. What's up, Martin? All the new camera equipment has been ordered. Just place the order now, so we should have that stuff sometime next week. Maybe into the week after, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and send off and get the old scope out of here whenever it comes in, and keep on keeping on. All right, so the we got a bunch more mail in that came in yesterday before we got done, so we're gonna keep on trucking through that. The iPhone 6, let me find that one. Right, here it is. So this is the one from the other day when the Navi Plus decided it was going to be temperamental. Your mic is clicking? Or is it just making me sound like a stripper? So this is the phone that wouldn't boot up, was error 4013 and would not restore. So we now have it working again. If the mic's clicking, I'll unplug it and plug it back in. Hold on one second. Alright, Jeff, just check your inbox. I'm going to send everybody a message a little bit later today asking for your address and stuff so I can send that out to you all. Alright, so this is the one that the not my normal audio. Let me make sure it's on the right mic, so. But anyway, so this is the one that wouldn't boot up and was error 4013. The Navi Plus was not working on stream at the time. Actually, I can do it down here so you all can still see me. The Navi Plus was not working at the time. We now got it working. Didn't really have to do anything, but as you can see, phone's back up and working again. So cool shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and power this one off, put it back in the bag, and we'll keep on keeping on. What's up, Tim? Alright, so let's let's work on this iPhone 6 backlight. iPhone 6 or 6S, I don't remember. But backlight's not working, so let's take a gander. This is an iPhone 6S. No backlight, so fairly confident we know what's going on here. This is a pretty common situation for us. It's gone again. What's gone? Hector, what do you mean you have the same camera? The same microscope camera? Mic is screwed up. This microphone hates me sometimes. I almost wonder if it's because I'm gonna put it in front of me. Maybe it's the wind blowing on it, fucks with it or something. Trainee time. You're a trainee. You son of a bee. What issues are you having, Hector? The adapter is what adapts it to work with your microscope. So, if you look, like on my scope, this piece right here is the adapter. So it screws into the camera. It screws into the camera right here, and then it goes into this receiver here that allows me to focus it. Audio gain may be too high. Well, let's turn the audio gain down. That's down 10 dB. Is that any better? Zoom, zoom, zoom. In your boom, boom. Shake, shake your rump. All I want to do is zoom, 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 zoom in your boom, boom. Shake, shake your rump. Yeah, the FMA 0505 is the adapter that adapts the camera to the Type-C mount. Optical assembly troubleshooting time? With what? What are we troubleshooting? What are we troubleshooting? I'm sorry if it's popping. You can't hear me. Is it too low? Tell me how the audio sounds. Is it too low? Too high? Just right? Is it pleasing you in all the right places? I don't want to be like fucking screaming in your ear. Like, hello, how are you doing? Oh, okay. I like my little $20 microphone. It's done well. Damn you if you keep saying it's popping. I don't know why it's popping, so let's turn it back up a little bit. I can't do anything about the popping. Just have to live with it. Life goes on. Just put on some background noise so you can't really even hear that. Alright. Try another negative 10 dB. I mean, it was at negative 10. Do you want me to go down to negative 20? Let's see. This is negative 20. No, yes. Negative 20. How does negative 20 sound? It does do an awesome porn voice, that's true. What's negative 20 dB sound like to everybody? Super low? Too low? Alright, cool. We're gonna go back up to where we were. We'll go back up to 7. Negative 7 dB. That'll work. I think negative 7 is probably a fair number. Usually I think I run at -7 is what I had it before, but ever since I reset the new computer, I hadn't set the mic clipping point. What's up, Brandon? No popping. Head down, pussy popping. Alright, so this one kind of scares me. So far, nothing here looks out of the norm. And our fucking filter's good, so that's not good. Is this truly no backlight? And there's one slight issue. I forgot to bring fucking screens with me, and there's no screen with this one. Let's see if this screen's any good. Probably not. It's sitting over here for a reason. Usually the junk screens get left on my table, and that's where they end up being for the rest of their lives. Connector looks okay, so that might be alright. Maybe I left a... I might have a... Yeah, I'm sure I've got some fucking screens in the back that need to be refurbished. So we'll have one of those. How about that $2? What happened? Somebody donate? You remember that $2 you've been owing me, bro? Let me hook this up to the DC power supply and see what we get. That junk screen life? I love junk screens. I don't know why people don't fucking refurb everything. I do. 4.2 volts at 2 amps. Turn it on. Chris, if you could have one 3D printed thing to help you with your work, like a jigger tool holder, what would it be? Man, that's a hard one. 3D printed item? I don't know. Is it going to be made out of something that can take heat? I'm going to get a copyright strike for this shit. BNC. Yep, it's sitting here on the counter. Yeah, I'll be there for a little bit. I'll drop it off with the guy that'll be working tomorrow. Later. Well, Brandon, I'll send you a t-shirt for donating $2, so remind me. Actually, I need to write you down here. I know you have donated, so I don't believe you're lying to me. Alright. Gummy bear rehotting? I kind of like that idea. I wish this was an easy backlight filter. I don't think it is. At least the filter's good, so it definitely isn't the filter. 3D printed thing that would help me out. 3D printed thing. I don't know. I mean, that's hard to say. I'm trying to think of something that I always fucking have problems with. Maybe something. It'd be kind of cool if I could get something to hold this board up like vertically. Just sit it in there so I could read it. It's actually standing on its own right now. It's like magic. Dr. Pepper, sponsor me, bro. Yep, fell over. Alright, so we got a DC power supply hooked up. Let's see if it's actually drawing appropriate amperage. It is. Hey, we got screen. There's backlight. I don't know what the hell this was sent in for.
Is this really just a bad battery? I hope this is not just a bad battery. Maybe a faulty screen. I've seen that. Actually, I saw that today. So, for the first time ever, an iPhone 6s came in today, and I was like, oh, this thing's got blown backlight filter. And this is now maybe a second time if this was a bad screen. But for the first time ever, BGA chip jigs would be good. That's true, but I don't have any fucking stencils. I guess if you could get jigs that would hold the stencil but then have the different spots to match, like, that'd be cool. So, like, this is the jig, or this is the stencil. If you had a jig that was made that this stencil set down in, and then all these had cutouts for the chips to sit in, and then I could just take my, turn my fucking exposure down. If I could just take the chips and sit them down in there, and then sit the stencil down in there, that'd be kind of cool. You probably have to leave some slop though, because the metal as it heats up kind of expands. But that would be really cool, actually. Edge, good suggestions there. All right, let's see if this thing charges. Maybe that's our problem. So let's bump it up to 5.2 volts. So we're now at 5.2, and let's see if it charges. Yeah, it's charging. Trying to, at least. Yeah. I mean, we got charging logo. I don't know what the hell the problem is. I bet the screen was bad. So today, getting back to that, I kind of got off fucking track there. Today I saw a 6S that came in, never been opened, never been fucked with. The screen backlight just stopped working. Like, the backlight filter was fine. There was no damage, water damage to the board. The phone charged, worked properly. Just the screen had no backlight. Put a new screen on it, backlight was fucking fine. And maybe that's what happened here. I mean, it's not impossible, because I saw one today for the first time. But the backlight on the screen itself went bad. So, broken digi screens with good LCD, I don't buy those. The only screens that I get refurbed are ones that have good touch and good screen, which evidently this one does. I don't know if it has touch, but it has screen. I send all these to a local guy that refurbs all of them for me. So I'm just gonna return this one to Duncan. Duncan, there's no charge on this one, buddy. I think you maybe had a bad screen or something, man. And I got trolled by that today, because I sure as fuck thought it was gonna be like a backlight filter, and it was not. Alright, so let's go on to the next one. Let's see what we got here. What's in the box, Mr. Mailman? I've got an iPhone 6 Plus here for data recovery, and I have a feeling I'm not gonna be able to figure it out. I gotta measure a few more things, but the lady said she was using it on a phone call, and all of a sudden it just stopped working. And I thought, okay, I've seen that before. It's probably a shorted cap on like VCC main or something, and now the phone doesn't work. No big deal, easy fix. I fixed a bunch of them. Send it in. So she sends it in. I hook it up. There's no drop damage on the phone at all. There's no signs of liquid on it. 6 Plus Touch IC. You want to see me do a Touch IC? We'll put Touch IC back since that's kind of boring. We'll do that one like last or something. We'll do it Monday or something like that. So next one. But she sent it in, and I hooked it up, and it was pulling some weird amperage, like not right, but it wasn't showing any shorts. So I went ahead and the voltage looked like it was hanging at about 60 milliamps, which is really low. So I decided to go ahead and change out TriStar, because TriStar can cause some really good. You hate Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey? Another Touch IC. So 2 Touch IC mailings. So we'll go to the next one. Data recovery on Windows PCs. We use... Well, it depends on the data recovery that you're doing. If you're doing like deleted file data recovery, I'd have to look and see. I can't remember. If we're doing any type of like imaging or anything like that, we use a Acronis True Image. But for actual data recovery, I'd have to look and see. I can't remember. We don't see many of them that have like deleted file issues. Most of the time we see data recovery issues is when people have like corrupted drives and stuff. Alright, so this one is from Anthony. Let's see what Anthony sent us today. Anthony, what did you send us? 5S tries to boot, then flashes red screen, does the same thing. Phone didn't get very hot, or did get very hot at one point. Turn off, turn back on. And we got Fritos. Fuck yes. I like when Anthony sends stuff. He sends food. That's just so you all know. If you want good service, send food. If you send just a phone in here, you'll get service. It just may not be the best. When you send Fritos, which I'm sure have been poisoned, and when I eat one tonight, I'm gonna die. So everybody in stream needs to remember that Anthony Finch killed me tonight. So if I never stream again, you know why. Anthony Finch did it. Alright, this thing is, in true Anthony fashion, this thing has 17 pounds of bubble wrap on it. And it's taped every 3 layers. Tell you one thing, if you're a customer of Anthony's and he's shipping something off, you don't have to worry about your phone. That shit could go through a nuclear fucking fallout. It would be perfectly fine. Damn you, Anthony. All this fucking bubble wrap and tape. Oh, data recovery from iPhone? We use Sync iOS. Or we use iTunes. I mean, iTunes works just as well. iTunes, the only drawback to it is you can't direct access files that way. It's more for just backing up to another phone. Sync iOS can actually read backups as long as they're not encrypted. So that's what we tend to do. We use Sync iOS to back up the phone into actual files. Or we can actually take an iPhone backup that's made from iTunes, and you can extract all the data from them. Sync iOS will do that. There's several programs that do it, but Sync iOS has been a good program. I really like it. It's like, I can't remember how much it is, like $30 or something like that for a fucking subscription to it. It's dirt cheap. Anthony packs stuff up like your grandfather did for Christmas, right? Yeah, I'm just glad it's not wrapped in fucking duct tape. Anthony. Anthony's here. We just opened up your package, and I told everybody, Anthony, that if I die tonight, it's because you sent me tainted Fritos. All those tainted Fritos. Alrighty, let's take a gander, walk around this one here. Let's see, it's got the original battery in it. Battery looks a little swollen. Let's go ahead and pull the top screws out. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. Alright, let's pull these top screws out and see what we've got underneath. The most common reason for red screen on the iPhone 5S tends to be front camera, but it can be other things. I think Anthony said that they already tried that though, so we're going to do it again just to make sure, because we like to be thorough around here. Taint. Taint. Count Taintula. Those Fritos were the last 2 bags we had
Also unplug your mic. Is it back to fucking training time? God damn it.
I don't know what's causing training mode so much lately. It is porn voice, that's true. Popping again? Fuck off. Fuck off with your popping. Fuck off with your tranny. I don't give a damn. I don't give no dams. No, we don't want 2.2 volts. We don't want 42 volts either. We want 4.2 volts. Thank you. Boom chicka mow mow. No, it's brown chicken brown cow. So hey, say it. Brown chicken brown cow. Got that brown chicken brown cow. Is it still fucked up? It should be okay now. Unplugged it, plugged it back in. One day I'm just gonna leave it on porn voice the entire time. Yeah, the phone got delivered yesterday. Yep, it got delivered yesterday and we're now just getting around to opening everything up. So let's try booting it here. We're getting normal amp draw. Let's see what happens. We're pulling 140 milliamps. Kind of hanging. Now it's going up a little bit. Up, red screened. Turned off. Anthony, is data needed on this phone or no? That time I didn't red screen, it just looped. Alright, so let's take a gander here. We don't have any signs of long screw, that's good. Let's try disconnecting our rear camera, because we don't want that in the way. Let's roll that out. Need to roll everything out as much as we can. The whole thing in a bubble bag. Alright, let's see. Will she boot? Aha, we have a little clue maybe? No, we don't have a clue. I got excited. Guys, I'm sorry. Porn voice equals 1,000 plus sub spike? I hope so. That'd be kind of awesome. Well, let's see what it does now. Rear camera's unplugged and I'm using the USB to prompt it to boot this time. Red screen still. Let's unplug our charge port. Still boot looping. Well, we'll try to get the data off of it. Let's see if TriStar is working. That's a good one to know. So TriStar can cause some I believe it can cause red screen. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Let's see here. So we need to bump it back up to 5.2 volts. I wish this thing, the on-screen thing, had presets. It'd be much easier. Alright, looks like TriStar's working. Yeah, it is. TriStar is not our problem. What's our problem here? Where's Micah? Micah's at home. No, I didn't see it, Anthony. What'd you say? Alright, so this thing's still looping. I almost feel like this could be like a software problem, but I'm not sure. Feckin' Micah. Micah's at home relaxing. We get 1 day off a week, so I don't blame him. Well, I don't normally get a full day off, but I get like a half day off a week. That's always good, right? So let's see if this go in recovery mode. So it's not doing shit right now. Well, you know, work. Do I have to hook up my DC power supply to power this bitch? Actually, I got a good battery. Removing iPad mini NAND for the first time. Any advice? The iPad minis, iPads in general, take a lot more heat than iPhones. So make sure you bump your heat up a little bit. If you've ever taken an iPhone NAND off, it'll take more heat than the iPhone will. Because the iPad has a much larger ground plane. So it's going to take more heat to get it off. Don't force it. Don't rush it. Just stay at a decent temperature. And, like, don't get, like, crazy hot. You'll fuck the NAND. I just usually, like, on mine, if I do an iPhone, I do 350. If I do an iPad, I bump it up, like, 20 degrees Celsius to, like, 370. Well, now this fucker's not doing a goddamn thing. Why you no boot? Are you too good for boot? Will you boot from power button? You boot from power button. Why you no boot from... Oh, I'm stupid. I'm plugging in the wrong fucking cable. What's up, Paul Daniels? It puts the hammer to the CPU? Well, maybe. Anthony has to approve that before I do it. We need Anthony's approval for hammer to CPU before that occurs. Alright, let's see if we can put it in recovery mode. And doesn't look like it. Why are you not? Oh, there it goes. That's in recovery. Alright, so I'm about to fuck the stream. I gotta download fucking software. Sorry. I know you all hate me. It just has to be done. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone needs to start calling Paula Daniels. Or Paula Dean. Either one. Alright, so 6 minutes to download this. Sorry, stream's gonna suffer for a minute. Let's eat some Fritos in the meantime. I haven't eaten anything all day. Some good Fritos. Lips are kind of numb. Pretty sure these have cocaine on them. Paul Daniels making cafefe. God damn. Shit's getting real in Australia. Motherfuckers are making cafefe. These chips are good. I think Fritos are best had when you have French onion dip. Oh, I don't blame you for keeping the chili cheese. Those are better. These with French onion dip, though, are absolutely amazing. Chuck, speaking of wings, there's a place here in town that sells, I mean, they're a chain restaurant, but it's a Wingstop, and all they sell is fucking wings, and I really want to go there. Paul Daniels' new options on OpenBoard VR Cafefe. We've lost eight people since I started this download because it's buffering. I'm sorry, world. Paul's gonna add a button on there. You click it and it's Cafefe. Frito pies are good. Who knew just frying some fucking corn and then sprinkling salt on it was so good? Got 3 minutes left. It's hot as fuck in here too. Anthony Finch song. Does the guy who does refurb your screen also refurb iPad Air 2s? He does not. I wish he did, because I've got a bunch of them. I'm going to get them done. I've made a fruit pie with chili cheese Fritos and slipped into a food coma. How the fuck did you make a fruit pie? Do I have fiber? No. I have cable internet here. And they give us the old small hole, big fist. They give this to us. They're like, hey man, I hear you like getting fucked in the ass. And I'm like, nah, I don't. And they're like, cool, here's your ass fucking. Got 60 seconds left. Gustavo, what's up, man? I like your name, Gustavo. Wish I had a cool name. I love garlic wings too, Brandon. Sounds delicious. Well, it may be so, but I have to try wings from everywhere. There's some really good wing places here in town. Like, there's some chain restaurants, and then there's some smaller ones. Smoky Bones, which is kind of a chain restaurant, their smoked wings with brown sugar on them are amazing. If you're vegan and you eat those, you probably would turn away from veganism immediately. Later, Keith. I feel like I agree with Chuck there, though. The larger chain stores tend to be kind of shitty on wings. Alright, our download is done. Let's do our update now and see if this fails. Probably will. Probably be stuck in restore mode. Here's some delicious chips. Alright, so it's extracting software. I love this computer. It's done really well. Right now with 2 cameras, actually 3 cameras, live chat, me fucking gabbing my goddamn mouth off. We're using 9% CPU. Buffering should stop here in a little bit. So Anthony, I think this 5S is a NAND issue. And if that's the case, chances are it's not gonna be data recoverable. What's up? What's up, Christopher? Almost died there. Frito almost killed me. I told you all Anthony was trying to fucking kill me. My internet options are 60 by 5, which is what I have. You can get slower than that. I think there's like 10 by 1. 60 by 5 is $80 a month. It's not terrible, but it's higher than what I pay at home for 200 down. At home, I pay the same price and I get 200 by 25. Next step up is 100 by like 10 or 15, something like that. But it's like $100 and some a month. Nah. I can live with a little buffering every now and then. It'll catch up here in a little bit. It always takes a while. But it'll get back in the green. The bandwidth is starting to even out. About 4,000 kilobytes. It should come down a little more though. Yeah. YouTube's really bad about notifying me. I don't get a lot of notifications. iPad mini has an error 14014. Usually that means the NAND has either no power or is not making connection with the board. Hamas. $111 to refurb it or replace them? Hey, there's Paul. Paul, I'm going to send you a message also, you and Paul Daniels. I'm going to send you all a message and get your all's addresses. I'm going to send you all a t-shirt for supporting me, along with the other ones that we announced earlier. What did you do, Paul? Did you stream it? I haven't seen it. I know you put a video up, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. No, my internet service provider is Spectrum. Uh-oh. Paul's having major issues, guys. So, Anthony, what do you want me to do on this phone? I'm fairly confident that it's a NAND problem. I can pull the board and freeze spray it and see if it works, but I have a suspicion that it is a software corruption issue on the NAND, just like that iPhone 6 was. And I don't know if they want to put the money into it or not. It'd be about $100. If it'll work, being that it's right behind the fucking CPU, which is awesome, not fuckers. You go to Tennessee a lot? Well, I'm not too far from Tennessee. What the fuck was I doing? What in the fuck was I doing? Let me load up my server here. The buffering should stop hopefully soon. It's still in the red on my end, but the bandwidth is still kind of behind. We're still dropping frames like it's going out of fucking style. Alright, so I wanted to look at something while we wait. I don't think Anthony has answered our question yet as to what he wants to do. He probably hasn't seen it with all the buffering going on. Alright, we're back in the green, so y'all should not have any more buffering. Let's see, what are they fucking probing?
I know they're probing something over here. But what? What the fuck are you probing? You fucking wanker. That's how you say it right, Paul. Fucking wanker. Alright, so it touches something down here. It's bat VCC. That's TriStar. That's TriStar. That's TriStar. That's TriStar. And that's TriStar. Are they programming the fucking NAND through TriStar? Is it even possible? So I've been looking at the attachment they make for the Navi Plus now. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Do you have any suggestions for cheap budget micro pencil? Hako? It's about the cheapest option that's quality. The pencil itself is about $120 plus whatever else. This song, you've got a funny definition of supporting when all you do is come here and chastise and deride you. Ah, that's fine, Paul. You support me in different ways. I think I need to do streaming for my repairs. I think you should too. What kind of streaming do you do? Or what kind of repairs, actually? Wrong question. I was trying to figure out, there's a reprogrammer for the NAND on the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. I was trying to figure out what the fuck they're going through, because it uses little pogo pins that touch test points. And I'm not sure what they're tapping into, because I haven't per se seen anything on the board other than test pads that go to ground and the PMU. And then the other test pads that they might be touching go to TriStar, which are down here at the bottom. So I don't know. I wonder if TriStar can reprogram NANDs. I didn't think it could. But if you ever get a chance, check online. You can see it. It's pretty cool. Alright. Give it a whirl. We quoted them up to 175. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Is it possible to transfer an iPhone NAND chip to a donor host and still receive data? No, you cannot move just the NAND. You do have to move NAND, CPU, EEPROM, and baseband to do that. Chris Long, if you had a short on PP1V2 SDRAM on a straight 6, i6, could you fit it? What? Edge, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're talking about a motor fitting in something, or are you talking about an SDRAM on CPU? Drove through Tennessee twice from Florida to Omaha, overnighted there one time. The NAND programmer, I came in the next morning, Greg, and it worked. It didn't work that night, and now it works. The touchscreen worked in the morning, so I did the IT crowd advice, and I powered down and powered back up, but I did it 8 hours later, and it worked. FX951. Okay, buckwheat. So I'm gonna do, I guess I'll do a NAND on iPhone 5S and see if I can fuck it all to hell, which I probably will, and then I'll have to send it back to Anthony not turning on, and he'll be pissed off at me, and then I'll lose business, and he'll be fucking bad mouthing me online, and then he'll come in my streams like, you son of a bitch, you fucked up the phone, doesn't work now. I'll be like, Anthony, I told you, and he'd be like, I don't give a fuck, I'll fucking kill you. I don't know if he'll say it like that, but that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna see it. I'm gonna eat the rest of these Fritos till before I die. Is the mic unplugged time? I don't know, is it? Do I sound like a stripper again? Porn voice is back? Yep. There it is.
It's going through. Sub count's going up. If only it was that easy. If we could get subs by just putting porn voice on, I would go for it. Oh, we got some test points in the front. That's cool. Paul Daniels is going to run 24-hour porn voice on his streams from now on. He told me the other day. He said, I see you getting all these subs, and I think it's because you're using porn voice. Oh, Paul, you're going to run into a bunch of TriStar, buddy, and they're going to be money makers. You're going to love them. You're going to be like, fuck yeah, another TriStar. Turn the mic to the back a little bit. I don't understand what you're saying. Like this? That's how I had it before, but it's still fucked up. I don't have to use a filter for your voice. Paul, sounds like somebody's a little jelly. I'm just saying, bro. Little gel. I'm processing tickets over here and I fucking ran one thing today. I'm just gonna start calling Paul Paula Abdul. I'll have to put that back. Lost that one. That bounced away from me. Paul is what they call peanut butter and jelly. Paul's a little peanut butter and jelly right now. Are you in a voiceover training for a special movie? I don't know. Is it back on again? God damn it, dude. Paula Abdul was famous. I wouldn't be against that. Short on PP1V2 SD RAM on the CPU side. Can it be fixed? Yeah, it can be fixed. Are you sure it's shorted? What's it reading? SD RAM is a fairly low ohms line to start with. I mean, it's not crazy low, but it should be like a couple hundred ohms, I think. Yeah, everybody make sure you go down to the bottom right hand corner and click live. That way you are caught up with the stream. That way it's not buffered behind. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. Amy is the top PSA girl on our stream. Amy, do you want a t-shirt? You help me out a lot. I'm good. I'm probably gonna give away like 15 of them. That probably makes 15 with Amy. Amy's a trooper. She comes around and cleans out the cancer. We have some lady style shirts. I don't know if you want some lady style or if you want just a normal one. We're gonna have to request Paul wears the shirt that he gets on his stream. Come on, buddy, come off there. There we go. And tolerates you males. He'll do an after-hour stream and take the shirt off. I mean, maybe we might be able to swing that one. All right, so the NAND on the iPhone 5s is located. This is the CPU. This is the NAND. So they put it in a nice little spot for you. Make it real easy for you to work on. You know, real nice stand-up, fellas. So let's go ahead and string this bitch up. And let's take our underfill off, because that's going to be needed. Need to make sure that we got this in a good place. We're not going to fall off here. Let's get this in a little better focus for you. For you peoples. Dead short? Yeah, you're going to have to take the SD RAM off if it's on the CPU side. You have to separate SD RAM and the CPU, and then you'll have to replace the SD RAM chip. It's not a fun experience. It's pretty difficult, actually. I'm not skilled enough at it yet, at least. But it's worth a shot. You can always try it out, see what happens. Knock that cap loose. That's what we like to see. Well, knock that IC off. We'll have to put that back. That's backlight. We'll put that cap back. We're gonna knock everything off. We're melting all the solder. Well, I guess it's gonna come off either way if we don't break it free, so. I'll be shocked if this thing works after anyway. You need agua. En esa el agua. Sí, el agua. NAND repairs. Alright, we need to change tips without burning ourselves all the fucking hell. Which happens occasionally. From time to time. Let's go ahead and turn the heat back on since that came off easier than we thought. Let's put our new bigger tip on. Alright, and then we're gonna hope and pray that this will work, but I have a feeling we're gonna fuck the CPU. But warning has been given. We will try not to fuck the CPU. That is not our goal. But at the same time, we need to make sure that this NAND is warm enough. So I'm going to back the microscope out of the way. And then I want to be directly over the NAND. I want to try to keep my heat focused on top of the NAND. To try to eliminate as much heat going through the board as I can. Like, just let the NAND absorb the majority of the heat. And I'm going to try to be quick on how fast I get under this chip and remove it. The faster the better. Okay, NAND's off. We dug up a bunch of the fucking underfill there because we were trying to get it off as quickly as possible. Let's hope and pray that the CPU made it through that. We'll replace all our missing components a little later. We didn't pull any pads, so that's a good thing. Pad pulling is no bueno. Chip seems good. It's clean. We just pulled a lot of ground plane here. We'll have to cover all that. Now the true test is going to be to see if the phone will still turn on after all that. It should. if the CPU is okay. Alright. Let's see. So this should go into recovery mode. Without the NAND on there, it should be in recovery, and then it should fail to update with like an error 40, I believe is what Larry said, that Lauren said, that somebody said. I don't know. I think Lauren is the one that originally said that, but Larry passed it on. So we should be in recovery mode. We're in recovery mode. CPU is working and on, so that's good. Let's see what iTunes says when we try to restore it. iPhone has been found in recovery mode. Please restore to fix this issue. So we'll click restore and update, and we should get an error 40 here. So far so good. We've gotten the CPU, or we gotten the NAND off without fucking the CPU. At least the CPU is turning on. We did fuck our backlight. We didn't fuck it, we just knocked the IC off. We'll have to replace that. Hot air, I use a 6mm and a 10mm tip, I think it is. 6 and 10. Alright, it's trying to recover the phone. Let's see what error it gives us. Here it goes. Now it's trying to talk to the NAND. And here we go. NAND talk. What we got? I know we got nothing. What error you got for me, baby? Yeah, with the NAND off, it actually went into the point where it's, yep, error 40. So it is NAND. That's cool. That's really cool to see. So before, when the phone would go to the next step and try to talk to the NAND, it would reboot the phone and then give me a 4013 error. This time when it rebooted and goes to the NAND, it actually went back in, tried to talk to the NAND, and then said, hey, no fucking NAND. So it went to error 40. So we know that our NAND was our issue. So that's awesome. So we're making progress here. I like to see it. Did you go to the flea market today? Yes, I did. I came here right after. I've been up since 8 o'clock. Going non-stop. Just like I do on Micah's mom. So we took the NAND off. Didn't even wrinkle the fucking plastic on the front. Alright, so I'm going to try to do most of my cleaning on the backside here with my iron, because I don't want to fucking come in with any heat if I don't have to. This is all going to get wicked down, but I'm going to have to fucking lay some solder in here, which sucks, but the open exposed ground is going to get a little more exposed, I guess, per se. I don't know. It's just going to have a lot of solder on it, is all. So there's going to be a lot of solder in here for a little while. We just need to get our leaded down on the pads, so when we come in here to wick and knock these down flat, we know it's all going to be gravy. It's going to be gravy, baby. All gravy, baby. Let's get our bag. PSA, like the stream. Is Pierre here? Holy shit, man. Where have you been? We thought you died. We thought you died. I thought you died. What happened? Who said what? What did Micah do? Alright, so let's do some whacking. Get all our pads nice and flouche. You can see all that nice exposed ground plane in there just waiting to fuck me. Alright, so I'm going to take my iron and just kind of rub it against this underfill until it starts to bend to my will. Slowly but surely, I'm going to eat this underfill off. I really don't want to get it all the way off. I really just want to get it down to where I know the chip's going to sit flush. See, the problem is if I go too aggressive, it's going to do just like it did right there. It's going to start exposing ground. And the more we do that, the more chance we run of bridging. And bridging here is not going to be a good thing. I'm going to have to try to use my hot air with the knife. It's just too heavy. Shit's too heavy for the iron. I can't cut through it. I'm going to turn my temperature down so I can work quickly and not have to worry about fucking everything up. I'm going to try to regulate my heat as much as I can. There's a guy that was selling a really sharp blade the other day I was looking at, and they were cutting fucking underfill off like it was nothing. But I really fear that a blade that sharp will tend to cut deeper than you really want it to. So I was kind of worried about if getting one of those would be a good idea or a bad idea. My tip's a little loose. Alright, so let's see if we can come in here at a backwards angle a little bit there. So I got my temperature down low enough that this shouldn't... I would really have to hold the heat here for a long time to get the solder to melt, the lead free. But this should be enough to keep the leaded kind of liquefied and allow me to cut some of this underfill out. Alright, so it looks like we're getting down to where we want to be. Yeah, we're starting to get close because I'm starting to shave off some of the top layer now, which I don't want to do too much. Alright, we'll leave it at that. We'll clean that up and see how it looks. Doesn't have to be perfectly flat, we just need it low enough that when we drop our new chip back on, it's good to go. We got a few little high spots there. Let me see how it feels. Yeah, in this corner here, it still feels a little high. Let me change out my blade. This one's pretty worn. A new sharper blade will help out tremendously. One blade? I guess it is. I didn't think that was one. That's awfully thick. What is a ginsu? Do they cut tomato after that? No. I don't cut tomatoes with these blades after. I don't have a ginsu. Okay, it's doing a much better job of cutting off that excess of underfill there. Okay, we're getting a little too deep there. That's the thing, it's like a fine line between too far down and just enough. It's like mama bear and baby bear. See, I'm just exposing ground plane now. Alright, so we'll go with that. We'll retest to make sure our CPU is still okay with life before we go too much further. I don't want to waste time reballing this and then find out that the CPU is fucked from the heat we put on the board again. Doesn't feel too hot, doesn't feel like it got too warm. So let's hook it back up real quick. Make sure we still have CPU activity. If I can get the fucking thing to sit in here. Come on, you son of a bitch. I think iPhone 5s and 5Ss are the worst fucking charge port to put on. They're really fucking annoying. Alright, let's plug it in and see what we got. Ceramic blade for underfill? Maybe so. Alright, so CPU's still working. I think. It shows up. Let's see, iTunes sees it. iTunes does see it. Let's try to restore it again and make sure that it gives us an error 40 again. And while that's doing that, we'll start prepping the NAND, which I have lost. There it is. Alright, so our NAND here, let's go ahead and flood it with some leaded solder. Come on, baby. Get up temperature. Burn out some of our crud here. Sup, bitches? What's up, Rodrigo? Alright, so we got that all on there. This iPhone is currently doing its thing over here. Should come back in. Alright, here. There it is. And should air out with error 40 now. Error 40. Alright, cool. So CPU has not been damaged. That's awesome. Porn bit. Yay, porn voice. Yeah, Curtis, it just decided to start working again the other day. I have no fucking clue why it stopped in the first place. It makes no sense to me, but it is up and working again, which makes me happy. I don't have to waste fucking another $200 on another one. Maybe it just was having a bad day, which I think everybody can understand. Sometimes you have bad days. Add a link for the mic? Yeah, I can. I'll have to add that into the bottom there. There's several things I need to add, I guess. The mic, if you all want to know, it's a Samson, S-A-M-S-O-N, Go mic. It's a very cheap, inexpensive mic, but from all the reviews I've seen online, it's a very good mic. Porn voice is, I think, a cause of my own doing, so I don't think it has anything to do with the mic itself. I think it's because I'm running the microphone through a USB 3 hub, and I think that hub may be interfering, like crosstalk or something. I may see if I can stretch it and run it down to the desktop itself. Is it back to bad voice or is it good now? I unplugged it. Is it still bad or is it good? If it's still fucked up, I'll reset it again. Audio Technia or Techia. I just bought one because I needed something that sounded better than the one that built into my laptop. Sounds good now? Okay. I think if I got rid of the interface going through the hub, we wouldn't have as many problems, but the hub's close enough to the mic that it's easier, but I can probably stretch it. So I'm just cleaning out the underfill on the bottom side of the NAND here, so that when we go to reball this and when we sit it on our board, we know this shit's gonna sit flush. Because that's the one thing you don't want. You don't want this chip to not sit flush, because if one of these balls isn't touching, it can cause a world of problems. And you'll sit there and just keep having to reball this thing and pulling your hair out and trying to figure out why doesn't this fucking work. I don't know, Greg. It is odd. I mean, I guess Twitch is okay. There's only one person on Twitch. Maybe that's me. It probably is me, because it puts me automatically in the room. Alright, so drill the Apple logo on the CPU. I don't know about that one, Rodrigo. I feel like that's a troll move. I just got this sneaking suspicion. Alright, so NAND now looks acceptable. We got a little bit of exposed tracing that I'm going to have to underfill, or not underfill, UV coat. Got a few more spots that I just want to clean up there. Alright. You're watching from Twitch? Ah, I can see that. Is the hub powered? Yes, it's powered. It's a it's an Anker 7-port USB 3.0 hub. It has 2 of the cameras running through the hub. It has a microscope camera and one of the cameras. Paul, you changed your name back. Alright, so let's put down a UV coating on this to cover the underfill, or the exposed ground, excuse me. So I just want to do a very thin coat there. Nothing built up too much. Alright, so I'm going to plug in the UV power over here on the side. Go ahead and get the NAND curing. And then I'm going to do the board now. Since the board has a lot of ground plane exposed, we have to make sure we cover all this up. So I'm just going to do a coat over the top here. Try to get it thinned out as much as I can. I'm not too worried about covering pads because I can come back in and expose those. Main thing here is I just want to make sure that we don't have any possibilities of shorting. That is the main thing I am concerned with. Don't want any type of shorting here. They make these kits for these that actually are UV coating that lays out in the pattern that goes around the NAND in the negative space. I've thought about getting those because those would be helpful. Because you just lay them over and then you UV cure them and then you lay your NAND in and it has the holes already cut out for the NAND. And your UV coating is perfectly around the NAND positions that they need. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of some of this excess. Arts and crafts time? Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so I'm going to try to thin this out as much as I can without it being completely exposed. Alright, I'm fairly confident in that. You want to get this little thinned out over here. Alright, let's go ahead and cure that now. It's thin enough. Our whole life is arts and crafts? Yeah, pretty much. Gustavo for a bag of Fritos? Are you trying to buy a bag of Fritos for me, or is it for me to buy a bag of Fritos? Alright. So let's reball our NAND. Actually, we need to just go ahead and ball it for now so we can read it. So I'm going to go over this real quick with some leaded solder just to reball it real quick. I'm doing this so that the Navi Plus will make good contact, because sometimes if you leave the pads flat, it won't make contact with them like it should, and then you get read errors and have a bunch of problems. Recapping of motherboard? What the fuck does that even mean? I don't know. Like, educate me, because I don't know what recapping a motherboard is. Alright, I need a little more cleaning here. Alright. Now we're going to hope that the NAND reprogrammer is on our side today. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. So we got our NAND reprogrammer here. Please don't get stage fright, baby. I'm gonna leave it off screen. Alright, so programmer is on. Let's see if it actually works. One. Didn't scrape the sides of the chip well enough. Doesn't want to sit in the holder. Let me scrape the sides real quick. Sides are scraped down somewhat. This corner is not. There, that should be good. Alright, so it's a 16 gig NAND. We need to set it to 32-bit, I believe. And let's see if it'll read. Data abnormal, resetting, failed, so it's a 64-bit. So let's do read again. Alright, so it's reading the NAND. So it's actually working today. Alright, so let's look at the info. It's showing me everything. The last 5 are PFNJJ. So I'm going to reread the NAND to make sure that it matches. Okay, so it's PFNJJ. So we know that that matches. So we're going to do hard drive fix, start fix. So you need to make sure when you use the Navi Plus, when you read the NAND, or when you're going to fix it, it's going to format it and wipe it. So you need to make sure that you read the NAND information first, and then you want to do your fix, and then you want to go back in and you want to write the information back to the drive. Lately I've been using it a lot more because we see quite a few, but I normally don't use it much. If I could do iPhone 6 without taking the chip off, which there's options for that now, I'm definitely going to do more, because I see a lot of error 4013s that can be solved with NAND repairs, but nobody wants to pay the cost. If I don't have to pull the NAND, I can drop my price, and that'll open up a lot of options. So we want to do a read on the chip and make sure that all the information is there. Let's do read. So PFNJJ, so it is there now. So our NAND is programmed. See if I can get it out of the holder. So we run the software fix on it and we reprogram the NAND. Alright, so now the next step, we'll let that cure a little longer. I want to make sure that that's nice and cured on that motherboard. Let's go ahead and wick this back off, and then we need to do our pre-balled solder balls on here, or pre-made solder balls, not pre-balled. I guess you could call it pre-balled. So let's wick these all down. We want to make sure that this is nice and smooth to accept our new solder balls. Alright, so we got a pad there that was trying to lift up, but looks like it stayed on the chip, so that's good. That's the thing, like, you gotta be careful with these. Like, these pads on the actual chip itself are still fairly soft, and they can come off the chip itself. So I don't like to do a whole lot of wicking on those, but it is, I think, necessary to make sure that your reball is even. Alright, so we've got our NAND cleaned up, and now we're going to need to grab a paper towel, and that's because this will help my stencil kind of flex and move while the chip is heating. I don't want my stencil to bow up on me because that just causes nightmare problems. Alright, so let's put down some flux. We want a thin layer. This is both going to help the stencil stick to the chip to keep it in place, and it's also going to promote those solder balls to stick down to their pads. The flux kind of helps break that surface tension that can form, and it gets rid of the oxidation layer, which really helps the ball sit down on the pad properly. I've noticed if you don't use it, you can really be out shit out of luck. Yeah, you can lift pads on the actual NAND. The NAND it's got its own circuit board on it. If you look at it, you can see the traces. See all the little traces on it? It's just its own circuit board. So you can 100% lift a pad on the NAND. Alright, so let's put our stencil in place. Now if you watch with the flux on there, when we go to melt that, it's going to stick to the stencil and help hold it in place for us. So now I can move it around, no issues. It's not going to fucking just flop all over the place. Alright, so let's put us some balls out here. I got some flux on my tweezers I need to clean off. The NAND adapter is expensive? Not really. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's like for the iPhone 6, like $119 plus shipping. But I mean, if you think about that,
if you can lower your price and do like a repair for $60 versus like $120, you're gonna open up a lot more people. Voices back. Open up a lot more people to the repair at a cheaper price, and it's gonna pay itself off in 2 repairs. I mean, it's more than gonna pay for itself, especially for phones that you can buy online that are fucked up. That's the shit to go. Can you popcorn that chip? Yes. If you heat it up too much, you can delaminate it. You can do that with almost any fiberglass layered chip like these. CPU can popcorn. I've popcorned SD RAM before. The SD RAM on the iPhone 6s is extremely sensitive to heat and will popcorn if you heat it up too fast. You have to do a lower temperature and kind of slowly ease it up to temperature. If you come in too hot right away, it'll popcorn. If you come in too low, it'll never melt the solder under it. So it's kind of a fine balance. Alright, so we still have our large nozzle in here. I need to increase my heat but decrease my airspeed. So I'm going back up to 350, but I'm coming down to about 1/3 airspeed, and that's to keep the balls from blowing out of the holes that they're sitting in. Now I'm just going to easily just warm this NAND up, and you'll see once they get up to temperature, they're going to drop right onto their pads. Here they go. So it just breaks the surface tension a little bit. That one down there is being, there it goes, it's stuck on its pad. Alright, so what I like to do here, since our flux is kind of boiled off a little bit, and we'll give the stencil just a second to cool off and kind of deflex. Because right now it's starting to get more rigid. You can hear it. See how quiet it is now? As it gets colder, it becomes less floppy. When they're hot, they're like, you can really get them to fucking pop back and forth. So let's go ahead and sit it back down now. Now this since we reballed the outside edge, this is going to help kind of hold the stencil in place, which is good. It's what we want. We want it to kind of self-align itself. Now we're going to come in with our pre-mades. Those are pre-made 0.6 mils. These are pre-made 0.45 mils. So I'm going to spill out some on our... Whoa, that's way too many. Too many balls. Get back in. There's so many balls here. You really don't... You need like 1/3 of these. I'm just going to have to waste most of them. I'm going to do the old rub and tug method there for a second.
Check this motherfucker out.
Somebody sub to the channel there? Or is it just randomly playing music? Yeah, I think somebody subbed because it... Yep, it did. We got a new sub. I need to stream that in and then put that on the chat log too. So every time somebody new joins or follows, it'll play a music thing. But I don't have the desktop audio set, so you all don't hear it much. Whoever on Twitch started following, I appreciate it. Thank you. So the most time-consuming part of this thing is taking away the balls you don't need, so it's best not to have too many extras. So don't follow my lead here, because I've created a fucking mess. Let's see if we can just mass wipe most of these off. There we go. Now we'll use the ones we have left over to kind of populate. Get off my tweezers, you little fucker. Okay, so let's populate that. Populate here. This is probably the most time consuming part of it, and Larry
Larry Johnson is a big fan of pre-mades, which they're great for consistent reballs. But God bless, they're fucking time consuming. It drives me nuts. If I could paste this and know it would be even every time, I would do it, but it's just not. It's not very even, so I don't trust to paste it every time. The center balling usually is pretty even, but it's the outside edge balling that gets really fucking weird. Like, you'll get some that have hardly no solder on them. And I'm not sure why, because the stencil punching is all the same. It may be just how the stencil kind of flexes as it heats, and it causes maybe some solder to bridge to other pads. Not sure. So we got one pad left, and then I think that's everybody, and we just need to center that one ball. So you go on your home. Alright, so we're looking good. Let's press down in the center again here. Now we're going to hold a little further away. I don't want to be as close this time, because these smaller balls have a tendency to fly away very easy. Alright, starting to boil the flux. There they go, they're starting to drop. We got one over there that hasn't dropped. We got a couple here that don't want to fall onto their pads. Come on, guys. We need to add a little flux to help them. Encouragement to the pad. So let's add some flux in here. Give them a little encouragement to go home. We got one of them, two of them. Alright, so these here just don't want to sit down, so I gotta break the surface tension with my tweezers. There we go. There we go. Alright. So whenever they don't want to sit down like that, it's because there's like a layer of oxidation, and the surface tension between the solder and the pad just is too high. So if you just add a little bit of disruption to that, they will fall onto their pads. I forgot to clean the stencil off. I just dumped solder balls all over my desk. Hopefully not my Fritos. I don't want to die. Motherfucker. Stop falling, people. Alright, let's put some flux on here and get these to shape up on their pads. Alright, so we're just going to heat this until they shape up. Alright, everybody's shaped up. Turn the brightness back up. We're going to let that cool off for a second, because she's hot as shit right now. Later, Paul. Alright, so let's add some acetone and just clean up this excess of flux real quick before it gets a chance to really dry on the chip. And then I will show you all down the side. So as you can see, we get a nice consistent reball. Now we got one there that's double size, it looks like, and that could be due to two balls getting there. You can see it, it's taller than the rest of them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna mop that one back up and melt a new ball onto it, unless we can just tap it and take away enough solder. No, we took away too much, so there we go. Clean that one up. Now let's just grab a single 45.45 mil ball. Okay, we'll set that on there, and we'll get some flux on here to keep the ball from just blowing away. I can get off my tweezers. Alright, it's on the board. Alright, so let's grab our solder ball, place it on our pad, and heat it up until she melts. Okay. Let's make sure it formed up well. There we go. Alright, let's clean that up again and check it again. I would say the most important thing of the NAND is just making sure that your reball is level. That's the main thing that I've noticed. Like, if the reball is not level, more chances than not you're gonna have issues. Alright, so now when you look down the side of that, there's no high points. Everybody's pretty consistently the same size, and that's what we're looking for. They're just tiny bumps. There's not a whole lot of solder there. We're not looking for anything crazy. We don't need mile-high pads. We just need a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to go in here and we're going to clean out the overcoating that we don't want. Which is just a little bit of pressure with your blade, and you can scrape away the excess. That's all it takes. Nothing crazy. Now we got a little bit of high spot there. I'm going to try to scrape most of this off. I don't want that for sure. That'll cause problems, and we don't want that. So a little light sweeping of the razor blade there will knock this down and take it off, so we don't have to worry about that. Alright. Auto tune is crashing. Porn is fine here. Is it good or no? No good, it's porn. I don't know why it's happening so much. Usually it's maybe once a stream, now it's happened like 6 times. Be careful, I'm exposing some of that ground plane. It doesn't have any solder on that ground plane, so I'm not worried about it too much. It's the stuff that's kind of pre-tinned that I've exposed there that I'm worried about, so I'm gonna have to put that back on. I can't have that area exposed there. That'll cause issues. That shit will fucking bridge in a heartbeat. That'll be easy to cover up though and won't take any time to cure, so I'm not too overly worried or upset about the fact that it's exposed. Wish I had my X-Acto blade. It's a little more pointed, so this is easier to do. I think it's over on Micah's desk and I don't feel like going to get it.
I think it's really cool, like how YouTube brings like different parts of the world together. Like it's amazing to me that some people here from like Australia and other places, are like from South America, and people in Europe and everything like that. Like, it's just really cool. You all get to watch the big dumb American work on stuff.
Before I put the NAND back on them, I have to go ahead and place this other stuff around the NAND too, I think. Just because it's going to be hard once the chip's back on than it would be to go ahead and do them now. Alright, so this ground pad, we have to make our own line here to where we want it to stop. The mic is moving towards the front too much. Well, let's move it towards the back. See if that makes any difference. Would that mean that the mic is trying to like drown out some of the, maybe the drone from the fans or something like that, so it's making my voice change because it's trying to block out a frequency? Do the streams shirtless? I need to keep streamers here, Anthony. I'm not trying to get rid of them. And I don't think my man boobs are gonna do much for me getting fucking subscribers. Or helping people in general. Nobody's going to want to watch me sit here with my man boobs out. My moobs. Nobody wants to see moobs. Anthony, it sounds like you're trying to sabotage my stream here. Suggesting things that'll make me lose subscribers. Okay, let's cure that real quick, and then we should be ready for our NAND placement. I'm pretty confident. What are you? You're non-existent now, whatever you were. Caps, not so worried about. I can put most of these caps, maybe even not even have to put most of those caps back and it'll work fine. The backlight driver there is the main thing that I'm going to have to be concerned with. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the pads for that. And then I'm going to cure this really quick. So backlight driver pads are cleaned up there. That's good. Let's go ahead and cure this. I believe the backlight driver on the iPhone 5 is the same as the 6, so we'll put one of those on. Moves are cute on short guys. Well, unfortunately I'm not short. I am average human height of 6 foot. Actually, I'm a little over average, but still not short. Do not forget the cap you flicked out. Yeah, I flipped a lot of caps out, Paul. I might have to replace quite a few caps here. We got donor boards though, so no worries. We got donor boards. It's an iPhone 5C. We need a 5S. Here we go. 5S. Alright, we got all our, I don't know. Is this a different revision 5S? Let's see here. Oh no, it's the same revision. Okay. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Everything. You can hang out with all the boys at the YMCA. Alright, so just cleaning up these pads, and then we're going to do some cap transfers. Alright, I don't think it's too large. Let me try scraping that down just a little bit. Actually, Exacta's right in front of me. Duh. Sounds like we got a couple more viewers on Twitch. There we got a subscriber on YouTube on the other. I missed this pad altogether. That would have been disastrous. Try to put the NAND back on and then completely fucked. I think it's ground, which is shared, but still. Alright, so that's all shaven down pretty well. All shaved and shit. You're a short ass. Well. What the fuck's going on back there? Something just made noise. It's fucking haunted in here, people. Alright, let's grab us a backlight driver.
Check this motherfucker out.
Yep, we got more Twitch subs. Thank you all on Twitch, whoever subbed. I'm sorry, I can't see it. Backlight IC, iPhone 6. Where you at? iPhone 6 Wi-Fi. iPhone 6S backlight driver. Where's iPhone 6? Oh, there it is. iPhone 6 and 5S backlight driver. All the same. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Do you have a UPS in case the power goes out in the middle of an iPhone or NAND backup? I do have a UPS, but it's not hooked up to this computer. I do need to get one. That's a good idea. One thing I try not to do is anytime there's bad weather outside, I try not to fuck with anything like that. Because of the fact that it can severely screw a phone up. So I tend to not do much during stormy weather. Alright, so iPhone 5S. Let's see where pin 1 is. On Twitch? Okay. So pin 1 is in the top right. So the chip sits like this. So let's go ahead and melt that down on there. We'll need to increase our airspeed a little. I'm using my large chip here. I don't normally like to do that. It spreads too much of the heat out. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and switch. This tip comes off very easily compared to the vice versa. Alright, I got my smaller tip on. So let's go ahead and put this bad boy in place. Don't be getting crazy. Thank you. Okay, it's melted. Saw the solder melt next to it, so I know that the chip was melted and it rebounded, so we know it's good. Alright, let's see if we can dig these 3 caps out on the other parts board. This one, I've ripped the ground pad up, so I'm not really going to dick with it. It's not really probably necessary. I mean, they put caps in there for filtering, but you can leave quite a few caps off without too much problem. Alright, so let's take these off. We want to make sure we keep these in order, because we don't know how they're gonna, if they're all the same cap size or not, so it's best to keep these in the right ordering. This one's already loose, so I'm going to try to take these off and set them down in the same order that I take them off in. We also need to snag that IC, I think. Okay, and then the last one. Okay, so we got all our parts. We'll have to reball this little IC part that goes right there. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some lead solder on these pads. Which will help them sit down faster with the hot air. So less working time and less heat on the board, which is always good. I'm going to go ahead and try to sit most of these components on and then knock off this excess of underfill. Okay. Let's knock this off. Let's grab our last component and I blew it away. There you go, you little chicken fucker.
not on the board. It's not off the side of the board.
So it's one of these components out here.
I think it's this one. Yeah, that's it. So we need to put down a little more flux, keep that from fucking blowing off again. Okay. Get our chips all straight. Now let's see if this little fucker's got any markings on it. Yeah, it's got a pin 1 in the top left there. So let me look on schematics real quick. See you, Martin. We're almost done here, hopefully. Just put the NAND back on and hope that everything works hunky-dory. Alright, so pin 1 on this one is going to be right here, which is the correct orientation that's already in. So that's good. Now we should be able to just kind of blow it away and lose our orientation. Mission accomplished. Seeing the orientation mark on this thing again, I feel like it's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, that's no bueno. Let's clean that up. Let's see, what does this even do? What are you? 2V8 throttle? Some type of network voltage regulator, looks like. So looks like it's a definite necessity. Is it possible to change the soft coils with more robust ones, like the near delicate areas near the CPU or something? You're talking about the ones that are not the hardened outer casing, but the soft ones? I would say as long as they're the same inductance, you should be able to change them. I wouldn't see why it would matter. Inductance and the voltage and your fucking the internal resistance has to be the same. If not, you'll run into issues. But otherwise, you should be able to change those out. I wouldn't see why there would be any problem. Okay, so that's not the right spacing. Are you the right spacing? No. Are you? No, you're too close together. What about you? Are you the right spacing? You might be. Nope. Nope. Need something. There we go. This one will be right. There we go. Alright, so let's. I'm gonna knock these down. And then we're gonna put some lead on those. How I could lower the pricing for this repair? So the iPhone 6 series, whenever you do a NAND on them, it has to be removed. This one, it wouldn't help out. This one would still be right in the same price range because there's no option for it. But with the 6, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us from Poland. The 6 series has a add-on that allows you to reprogram, read, and everything the NAND without actually having to remove it. So when not having to remove the NAND, it drastically decreases the amount of work involved in it. So since we have a lower amount of work that's involved with it, I can offer a lower price on it. And that way I can attract more customers to having it repaired than I do now. Because currently people don't want to spend $125 on a repair like that when they can just go get a new phone and have the same fucking phone situation that they would have. Now if I can offer a phone working in the same kind of conditions that they would get from their carrier at a cheaper price, I feel like that would be a more interesting, I don't know, intriguing, I guess, not interesting, but intriguing sell on a repair. So that is why I'm interested in doing that, because I can offer a cheaper price, but I can also do them a lot faster. Yeah, it's an add-on. It's not even, well, yeah, it's a hardware add-on, Greg. So it's a little piece that plugs straight into the top of the one I currently have. Alright, so let's add a little leaded solder here, and we'll replace these two caps from another board, as long as they're not a complete pain in the dick hole to get to. So we don't want a whole lot of solder on there because that can cause bridging, but we want just enough there to promote those to stick to the pads. Now let's come over here and snag these two caps out from the underfill that's on this other board. So I'm going to heat that side, I'm going to heat the back side. And now we should be able to pull this cap fairly easily. Yep, solder's melting. There we go. Cap's off. Now we'll do the same for this one. Alright, here it comes. Once the solder melts, they come out fairly easily. Not too much of a pain. Okay, this one goes in front. So we're gonna again put down some flux. This will keep our components from flying off like the other one did earlier. And that's the one in the back. Alright. Alrighty, so we got our caps placed there. Looks like we got a little bridge there though, we don't want that. So let's go ahead and grab this cap and just kind of hold it in place, which will help melt the leads on it quickly, and it also will help us hold it on the pad where we want it. There we go. Alright, so those are on. Alright. So again, hopefully we have not overheated the CPU. At this point, I'm going to let the CPU cool off a little bit because it's warm right now. Once it's cooled off, I'm going to come in and put the NAND on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this thing will work. So I believe it sits like this. So we're going to need to put a light layer of flux down across all the pads to make sure that it will evenly reflow. Okay. I'm going to just check the pin 1 location real quick. Okay, so yeah, so pin 1, actually it might be the other way around. Yeah, pin 1 sits here. Let's see if the other one's the same way. Yep, it is, okay. So, same as we did the iPhone 6, we want to make sure that the chip is sitting fairly close to where it should be. We don't want it to have to travel very far, because if it has to travel far, then we're going to have issues. So I'm going to just kind of press it down. I'm going to heat it up a little bit here, just to kind of get the flux to liquefy some. Let it cool. Alright, so I'm going to change out the tips again and go to a larger tip to help evenly distribute the heat across the NAND. Alright, so here we go. No whammies. Alright, that should have been enough to melt that. What's up, Mark? Doing well? Hey, Larry. Yeah, I'm just trying to get some stuff done. The NAND's not exactly centered here, so I'm going to try to reheat it again and kind of bump it over. That's why I like to work under the scope when doing NANDs, but it's hard to because you really need to be directly overhead of the NAND. But the NAND is a little sideways, and I think it's because all the walls didn't melt. Alright, it definitely melted that time. So far I'm about to put it back on. Rodrigo. See if we fucked the CPU yet. It's a lot of heat to put on the back side of the CPU, so hopefully we didn't fuck it. The sticker's kind of curled up on us there. Let's see. It hasn't fucked the compass I see, so that's good. Alright, so let's see. This is the grand finale, and see if we have fucked CPU or not, or if we have solved the red screen of death, aka the NAND software corruption. Alright, so got that on. Let's pull that back. Plug in our power. Hey, it turned on. So CPU isn't Is it completely fucked? It may not work, but it may not be completely fucked. Alright, so iPhone's detected in recovery mode. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it's fucked up or not. Just because CPU turns on doesn't mean that the SD RAM is good. SD RAM can be fucked and it'll air out with like an error 24 or something like that. On the back while heating the NAND, I've actually thought about that, putting like a coin or something on the CPU. But I almost feel like that sometimes will hold heat in too. I don't know. I've seen mixed things. I've seen people where they put heat sinks, and I've seen people where they don't. Alright, so moment of truth here. We're going to see if the NAND reball worked or not. Or if all that time was for naught. Alright, first reboot. Should kick it out here in a second. It's taking a while. It's kind of scary. I don't have a screen on it, so I can't see what it's doing. It hasn't kicked itself back out though, so that kind of bothers me. It's not getting overly hot, so we may be okay still. Yeah, nothing's overly hot. We're kind of stuck though, I think. Okay, so that gave me an error 4014 because I disconnected it. Let me see. We'll try it again. Who the fuck? I don't know who the fuck that was. Whatever. Yeah, it'll restore without the screen plugged in. I'm gonna give this one more shot and I'm gonna go home, because if this is a NAND problem, I'm gonna have to pull it back off. Somebody came in. Please work, you son of a bitch. I don't think it's gonna do it. I think the NAND's gonna have to come back off. I think we got problems. I'll let it sit there. We can plug the screen in, I guess, and see what it's doing. Let's go plug in a screen here. See if our backlight works still, since we put a new backlight driver on it. It is now 8:30, and I want to go home. I've been up too much today. Alright, so let's plug in error. Alright, so it's in DFU, so there's no way I can see anything yet. Now it'll come out of DFU whenever it tries to restore. Let's try it with 3U. I want to see where it's hanging up. Actually, I can't. 3U has to download its own firmware. I'm not fucking doing that. So let's go back to iTunes. iTunes. Phone in recovery mode. Restore and update. It's okay, Greg. No big deal. If it fucks up, it fucks up. We can take it off tomorrow and put another one on. Or reball that one and put it on or whatever. That's the thing about NAND work. Like, that's why I was hoping to get that 6 Plus attachment for the Navi Plus. Like, you don't have to dick with all this shit. You don't have to worry about pulling the NAND off. You don't have to worry about if it's bridged. You don't have to worry about, did I overheat something? I mean, there's a lot of shit you gotta deal with. And having a machine that you don't have to remove works. Yeah, it's not even getting to the screen that the Apple goes on. Yep, it's just sitting there, not doing shit. Alright, so I'll pull NAND off real quick and put it back on and see if maybe it's not fucking seated right, but that's about it. I'm done after that. I got things to do. You can do this without taking the NAND off? Yeah, on the iPhone 6 series. It's got test points that they hook up to, and you can read and write the NAND without removing it. Yeah, man, that NAND is spot the fuck on. There's no way that was fucked up how I laid that. Paul, where do you live? I think you said Iowa or something? Alright. If I haven't overheated the CPU, I'll be shocked. But we'll try again and we'll see what happens. If at first you don't succeed, keep doing it until you want to punch yourself in the face. That's how the saying goes, right? First time you succeed, punch yourself in the face. No, it still shows up in DFU mode, so that is promising. Alright, so let's restore. Alright, if we don't get Apple logo on the initial boot this time, like I said, I'm done. So if it doesn't go into recovery mode, I'm going home. Recovery mode or home. There we go. Let's find out. A few seconds. Oh. Hey, we got an Apple logo. Come on, baby, restore, please. One more. Show me the bar. Yeah, we got the fucking bar, bitch. Fuck yes. Now please restore and don't fuck up. Hey, it's restoring. That's further than we got before. Awesome titties. Awesome titties. iTunes is now restoring the software. So that is good. That's a good sign. That means it's working. It's working. Big old tap dancing Christ, boys. Titty tap dancers. So, I've done that several times. Sometimes when I place the NAND, that's why I was saying the NAND reball has to be level. That time, like, if I ever have problems like that, I'll pull NAND and then I'll sit right back down on the solder. And maybe there's like some surface tension issues or something like that, but the fix, Greg, was taking the NAND off and repairing the software issues. Thank you, Larry. What the fuck else do I need here? Solder? Oh, I got everything. Now we need to see if... Watch, we're going to get halfway through and then it's going to air out on baseband. If it airs out on baseband, Anthony, I'm just going to throw it in the trash can. You can tell the customer got lost in shipping. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was in shipping. It got lost. I don't know. The shipping and stuff, it fucked it up. Hashtag pick up the NAND. I think I may make a new shirt, Amy, that has tweezers holding the NAND up and says drop it like it's hot. No more Fritos. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pig's trying to get at you, pocket like it's hot. Pocket like it's hot. Went up, babe. Catch an attitude. Alright, we're getting to the point of the restore where we're going to see if baseband's working or not. About halfway is when baseband starts to install.
Check this motherfucker
Oh, we got another sub on Twitch. Thank you, whoever that was. I need to turn it back on, but everybody gets pissed off. I only get Carolina Reaper chips. I'll pass. Chasing capsaicin. We have t-shirts right now. Alright, it is to the point where it's going to do baseband next. So this is the baseband section right here. So it should say installing iPhone firmware here shortly. It says verifying iPhone software. And here comes the firmware part, should be. Or I'm going to get an error -1. Whatever happens here will determine what's going to happen for the rest of this. It's still thinking about it. It's verifying the iPhone software was installed properly right now. And then it'll go on to the baseband. Merch is on demand. Chasing capsaicin, do you have a company or something, or you just know someone that does it? Alright, we still haven't gotten to the firmware part. It's still verifying iPhone software. Verifying iPhone restore. And now we should get baseband firmware restore. Come on, baby. Show me that firmware. Show me that firmware. That should be another shirt. Show me your firmware. Verifying iPhone restore. Come on, bitch. Do something. Oh, really? Chasing, if you want, send me a message on YouTube. I'd be interested in checking out what kind of prices you got if you got a merchandise company. Alright, so still sitting on verifying iPhone restore. Usually it doesn't take this long to get to the firmware restore part. taking a sweet ass time. There it goes. Restoring iPhone firmware. Woohoo! Baseband should be good. Hopefully. The bar should start moving now if firmware is good. It hasn't aired yet. Yep, it's restoring firmware. Baseband's good. Yes. Awesome fucking tits. Lost my balls today. This is good shirt. Yeah, it is fucking slow as shit. Hey, it finished. Let's see if it boots up. The battery in is charged, so it should boot up. Good Apple logo. No red screen. No red screen. No red screen. No red screen. Come on, no red screen. No red screen, please. No red screen. No red screen. Everybody, I hope you're saying it with me. No red screen. I think we would have gotten it by now, but I don't want to jinx myself. So no red screen. No red screen. Yay! It's finishing the install. Fuck yeah, iTunes just recognized it again. It sees the iPhone now. I'm glad we did a NAND restore on stream that wasn't complete shit. I feel like people start watching me and they're like, this motherfucker can't complete anything. It always seems like anything I do on stream, it never fucking works out, but as soon as I do it off stream, perfectly fine, no fucking problems. But this one, I'm glad we got this one to work. If it hadn't restored on that second try, I'd gone the fuck home. Fuck this shit, I'm going home. Alright, let's see that hello screen, baby. Show me that hello screen. iTunes now sees the phone. It's waiting for activation though. It's just sitting there with the iPhone logo in the corner. Check this motherfucker out. iPhone and iTunes. No SIM card installed in your iPhone. Please insert a SIM card to activate. I will in a minute. iTunes, thank you. I will do that shortly. If you'll ever fucking turn the screen on. Because I have a card right here for it. I wonder if it's going to bitch at me because I didn't have the fucking home button plugged in this whole time. Come on, motherfucker. Finish. Finish. Alright, here we go. Hello screen. It made the chiming sound. God, this is the slowest fucking iPhone ever. There we go. Look at that. Hello, buongiorno. You speak the best Italian. Buongiorno. Alright, let's see if we can plug the old SIM card in here and activate this motherfucker. Alright, SIM card is in. I don't know if the board's sitting in the right spot though. So it may not read it. Yep, it reads it now. Alright, so let's go through setup real quick. I've noticed that on these phones, like Albania, for some reason, is an option every fucking time. I gotta put in my secret code. Okay. Probably has iCloud. That's fine. As long as we can get to that screen past activation, I'm fine with it. I don't know why it says that. It always does that to me. Like, if I don't have the Wi-Fi antenna hooked up, it'll say no network connection available, and then it'll be okay. Like, I just have to give it a second to think about life, I guess. See? It thinks about life and then it works. Alright, activate the phone. And then get me to the iCloud thing and I am done. Show me them iCloud titties. Show me your iCloud titties. Yay, activation lock. Fuck off. Alright, good. So, ladies and gents, and people all around the world, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm glad that we had a successful repair on stream and it wasn't a complete loss. I don't have the power button hooked up, so I'm trying to turn it off like that, but I can't. But, red screen of death, no obvious signs why. Try to restore, error 4013. Remove the NAND, retry to restore, error 40. Thank you, Lauren, for sharing that, or Larry, or whoever told me who the fuck it was. I think Larry told me, and Lauren told Larry, or something. The error 40 says, hey, the NAND was fine, it just had software problems. Error 4013 says, hey, I got software problems. Error 4014 means no NAND present, or no power for the NAND. Can you shut the fuck up, Paco? And then, after putting it back on, it all fucking worked. I'm going for home. Thank you all for watching. And again, everybody, I'm going to send out some emails with the, not emails, but messages on Facebook to everybody that want a t-shirt. And I'm going to get your all's information so I can slowly stalk you into submission and take all your monies with all my t-shirts. But anyway, everybody have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow most likely. Later.